Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, a few housekeeping notes. All the dimensions and all the product I use will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you'd like to purchase any of these products. There's my email address if you have any questions, and I have a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video and help me grow in YouTube world. And also, before we get started, just a reminder that Friday, June 30th, is the last day to get DSP that is 15% off, and the joining offer will expire on the 30th as well. So if you have any questions about those two things, please let me know. Okay, we'll get these out of here, and then I will show you what we're doing today. We're going to be playing with the daisy paper. And I decided to thumb through here very quickly and show you the beautiful daisy paper again. Love the blues. I'll move it over this way. Because I was asked a question, and so I decided to answer the question by doing a video. This paper is quite beautiful. And then this one. Now the question was on this piece of paper. How should I break it down and what should I do with it? So I decided I'm going to show you the easiest way to cut this piece of paper up, and then we are going to make cards and use this entire sheet of paper. Now I'm probably not going to get this done in one video. It'll probably split between today and Wednesday. But we made quite a few cards, a couple fun folds, there's some embossing, dry embossing, all kinds of different things I used. So let me show you the easiest way to do this. So get your trimmer out, and the first thing you want to do is cut off this strip here. And if you line this up right in your trimmer, you can see exactly where you need to cut, like that. And then you can go straight down and cut each of these pieces like this. So basically you're just taking the easiest way to dissect the pieces. And then if you look at it, this is the next obvious cut, because you can cut clear through several of them. And then if you just turn this paper this way, you can see another large one. And you just keep going until you have them all cut out. There is, there's really no rhyme or reason how to do it. It's what works for you. But I found taking the largest pieces first just made it easier. Cut this one out, and these two little guys. And then we separate this one, and all of our pieces are cut out. So this is all the pieces cut out and ready to be used for cards. So that was the first part. So let me show you the first card we're going to make. I'm going to set these aside because I actually already have a sheet I've cut up. So the first card, and in my instructions with what I used, is going to be all the dimensions, and they will be listed by card number, and this is card number 1. And I will put that back on when we're done here. But this says, "Oops-a-daisy, so sorry." It's a very simple little card. Not too difficult. I'll put that on the back. So let me grab. So I've made myself a little card kit, as I was making these, so I have all the pieces. So we're going to start with a piece of copper clay that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is our very large daisy panel, which happens to be 5 1/4 by 4. No trimming required. And then we have a piece of basic white that is 4 1/4 by 5 and 1/4 by 4. Like I said, all the dimensions are in the back. And then I did cut out a piece of basic white, and this is the die from the Cheerful Daisies. Now, the first few cards were using the Cheerful Daisies. Later in the cards, I pulled in a couple other stamp sets to, you know, go with the Cheerful Daisies. But this is the die for this set. So, let's do some stamping. Like I said, this is a pretty easy card. We are going to need a stamping mat. And yes, I put a new cover on. And we've got our envelope here because we're going to stamp it. Now, this is in the daisy set. And it's this cluster of daisies right here. And bear with me, of course, the copper clay is at the bottom. I have stacks of ink over here. We're using lots of different colors with this. And I'm going to stamp full strength in the corner here. This is a landscape card, so I'm going to put that there. I'm going to do the same thing on my envelope. Like, this is a quick card. So set that there. And then my verse is, oopsie daisy, so sorry. And it will fit right into this. Do that right there. Just like that. And like I said, this is pretty much the end of the stamping for this. Set this aside real fast. So let's go ahead and put, yeah, make sure I didn't put something in there. So you could use glue or tape, whatever you choose. I tried to make all the cards fairly simple. Some will take a little longer than others. And I didn't burnish this yet, so let's do that now. This is going on the front. Make sure you have your daisies go in the right direction. Just like that. And then I grab some linen thread. You can use baker's twine if you don't have linen thread. And I'm going to grab a little Stampin' Seal. Whoa! Well, we'll look for that. It's now on the floor. Oh, excuse me. The kittens have gotten in here. I'm just going to put a little Stampin' Seal right there. And I'm going to take a little piece of baker's twine. Not too much, about like that. And then if you run it through your fingers just like that, it helps get some of the curl out. I don't want too much out. And I'm basically, you can do this in either way you want. I'm just going to start one end here. And I'm basically going to just sort of go back and forth, creating some loops. You can roll it up ahead of time if you want. I mean, it's up to you. And I want to make sure the end sticks in the inside. I just want a few loops. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals and put on here. And I am putting them right over the loop so I make sure they don't come off on me. Like that. Persia disc. And I'm going to just tuck this right down here in the bottom. Make sure it's straight. And then I wanted some bling for this. And I decided for this one I was going to use the adhesive back dots right here. These are the adhesive back solid gems. I'm going to use this pretty blue, which is Boho to blue, to pull the Boho blue in from the paper. And I'm going to go with a medium size this time. And I'll put one small one. And I am just randomly putting them on there. 2 on the label, 1 up here. So that is the first card. Like I said, it was simple and easy, and you can whip this card out really quickly. So if you need a quick card, that's what makes these nice is, you know, you can just go for it. So that's card number 1. And I want to tag this, so this is the one I show on the picture. So that's the first one. And if you excuse me for 1 minute, I want to pick that lid up before I step on it and slide across the wood floor on it, which would not be a good thing for me. So, number 2. Number 2 is a fun fold. This is number 2, and it is a Z fold. Like I said, did some fun folds too. No reason not to. So let me show you how I made this one. Let me move a couple things out of my way as I go here so I don't get stuff I don't want on them. And I'm going to go ahead and clean my 2 stamps I used so that if I grab them, I don't end up with the wrong color, because that's definitely not copper clay on that one. I'm not sure if I'm using those or not. I don't remember. I have to look. So we need our stamping mat, and we need our card stuff for number 2. Our envelope. And what you need, a piece of 11 by 4 1/4. Excuse me 1 moment. Very warm today. And you are going to score this at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, and then you're going to fold it into our Z. So let me grab my bone folder, which I had around here a moment ago. Now, we're going to stamp on this. So I'm going to open this back up. And you can see how big this is and this. So we just need to do a little bit of stamping in selective areas. And I decided to use, I'm pretty sure I grabbed it. I did. It's right here. This is the outside of the small flower here. You could use the inside. It's whatever you choose to do. And we are going to use Garden Green. And this is just a background for our card. So, I mean, you could use any stamp you wanted. But I know that the outside of this will be seen. So I'm just stamping around. Now, the center is not going to be seen. This panel will be seen. So I'm just making a little, and I'm sort of turning them little ways. And then this one right around the outside will be seen. Like I said, I just wanted some little bit, just didn't want solid cardstock. I missed that one, but it'll be okay. Yeah, it will survive. Just like that. Just to give us a little bit of texture around the outside of that. So the other stamping we need to do in this is our saying on the white. And we are going to be stamping in Garden Green, wishing you the brightest birthday. Like I said, all this is out of the Daisy set. Just like that. And then I'm going to clean these off real quick because we are going to switch colors. And we are going to switch to Bubble Bath and pull some Bubble Bath into this. Make sure that's good and dry before I dip it in my bubble bath, and I'm going to put the daisy right here. And you could fill your daisy in if you wanted, but I've decided not to. And then I'm going to put a pink daisy on my envelope. Close this one up, and I'm going to go ahead and clean this right now. When you're doing multiple colors, it's best to clean as you go so you don't forget. So let's assemble this card. First, this is a piece of crushed curry, and it's 4x4. And this is our panel that was from our thing. Now, this is cut down to 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I basically went and cut 1/8 of an inch off each side because I didn't want to take it all off one side because I wanted to keep it in the center. So if you cut 1/8 off each side, it will bring it. Now, if you want to put a bigger panel in, you could, but I wanted a little bit smaller because I wanted to have a background piece. Like I said, this is I had fun sitting around looking at this. I looked at each panel individually and then figured out what I was going to do with it. So this piece is here, and then we're going to mount this one just like this in the center. So I need about 3/4 on each side and about 1/4 from the top and bottom. Just flip it that way. And I'm going to go ahead and use some strips on this because I can. Actually, I've got a whole bunch of strips here. This is a good place to use strips too, is on a long piece like this. And if it bends, it doesn't hurt a thing. And we'll cut off the other side. Always use all your dimensionals. Right about there should do it. And pull our backs off. Put this in here and line it back up. Looks about right. For the inside, you guessed it, flip this over. This piece of white, if I didn't tell you, it was 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And make sure it's going the right direction. Line it up right in the center, so you can tell where it is in the center there. Put some glue, close the back. Give it a little back rub. Yeah, looks good. And then on the outside of this, I decided I wanted to use a couple different things. And let me put these back. We're going to be in and out of my bling box a lot today. And I wanted to use some glossy dots and some butterflies. Let me put these back. So we're going to put one butterfly. I know, the butterflies are almost gone. No fear, I have another pack. I'll put one butterfly right here. And then these are the glossy dots. Now, this is supposed to be daffodil, but this is crushed curry. But I thought it still looked really nice on here. And we're going to use one of each size. Just like that. So that is card number 2. Let me put this over here and set number 2 out of our way and move on to number 3. Number 3 is a real easy card. This is number 3. We have a little matting and a little bit of stamping. No stamping on the outside. This one I did not want to take away from the picture. This I thought was absolutely gorgeous. So, and if you bear with me for 1 second, I know that I have another pack of butterflies around here somewhere, but I'm gonna have to look for it. I'll put 1 butterfly on it, and then I'll go find the butterflies after I'm done filming. So I forgot to grab this. Maybe I did. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm muddling to myself. So number 3. So get our stamping done first, as we did on the first one. So we have a piece of basic white. This one is 4 by 5 1/4. And then our envelope and our mat. And we are going to stamp in wild wheat. And we are going to use this one here. I have to look and see what I did. I did so many cards, I was like lost what I was doing here. We're using the same little cluster of flowers on this one in the wild wheat, and we'll do the envelope the same. And then the verse in this is going to be a birthday greeting. Just like that. And that is the stamping for card number 3. And 1 moment, because I just stuck my fingers into the wild wheat, and we don't want, you can see how much I've got on my hand. I stuck my fingers right into it. It happens. Okay, so that's our stamping. Here is our card. Our card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Burnish. And of course, our inside will go where it belongs. And you're all saying, how many cards did you get out of this? You're going to have to turn in on Wednesday to see how many cards I ended up getting out of this. And then we have a piece of Early Espresso 4 by 5 1/4. And this is our panel that we cut out of our sheet. And it's 3 3/4 by 5. And if I remember right, I had to trim off I didn't mark it down. Hang on. I had to trim an 1/8 of an inch off the top and the bottom to make it down, because it was just, the original is 5 1/4, and I needed 5 inches. So I took an 1/8 of an inch off the top and bottom. Sorry, I didn't put it on my notes. I knew I took it down just a little bit. Sometimes you have to do a little cutting to get things to come out the size you want. But you can make it bigger. If you wanted to use the full panel and not put the espresso in, you could use the full panel. Like that. And then I glued this one on here. I just thought this was such a pretty card. I have to be honest, when I first seen this color wild wheat, I was like, I'm not sure. It reminds me of something else, but I'm not sure I like it. And the more I use it, the more I'm getting to like it. So let's see if I have any more of these. I do have another pack of these, but I don't remember if I put them in here or not. So, oh, I did. They're right here. So we will take again, put on one big one right about here. And then we'll open up the new package of butterflies. Let's say, how many butterflies are in here? 80 of them. And then we'll take, and I'll put one more large one down here and a small one right about here. Like I said, I keep this card very simple. Little bling. Very nice. And so this is card number 3. So, and that's all I'm going to show you today. I'm trying to keep these videos at less than 30 minutes if I can, because I know your time is valuable. So if you turn it on Wednesday, you will get to see how many cards I actually made and what other stamp sets I pulled in. And this one did not have any embossing or anything, but the next ones will have embossing and some dry embossing and die cuts and all kinds of fun. These were the 3 simpler ones. They get a little more complicated as we go. So I will see you on Wednesday. Remember, the sale for DSP ends on Friday. So visit my online store if you need that or would like to purchase anything else. And if you have any questions, please send me an email and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So have a wonderful day and I will see you on Wednesday. Goodbye.